Rams win 34-24. Cooper Kupp, first Ram, 5 or more touchdown receptions in the first 3 games since 1951. Crazy Legs Hirsch had 6. Sure, why not? They're now 40-0 at the half under Sean McVay when they lead. 40-0. Rams minus 105 in the money line. They were getting a point. You didn't need it. Over hits. And this looked like it was going to be an under game for a while, but then we had a little bit of a barrage. Total was 55, and they ended up with 58. All right, let's talk Rams first. They're 3-0. It's easy to say, well, they have Matthew Stafford. He's playing really well. They got this going on. That's right. I want to concentrate on 40-0 at the half under Sean McVay. Does that say anything to you? Are they making adjustments? Are their orange slices better that they're passing out at halftime? Are you going to give me, are you impressed by that? Or is that just a, okay, yeah, fine, but I'm not so sure what that means stat?
You can't be anything but impressed by 40-0 at the half. We just talked about the Jets. They may not have a chance. Who knows what happens in 40 games from here if they're still looking for their first win. I think it's incredibly impressive. We talk about Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan as 2 of the best young play callers. Obviously, Sean Payton's in that conversation, Josh McDaniels, but you have to be impressed with what Sean McVay's been able to do. And there's a reason they went out and got Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff had some success early in his career, post Jeff Fisher with Sean McVay. Clearly, they weren't moving forward with Jared Goff, so they went out and got Matthew Stafford. And it's been a celebration from Jump Street. I thought this is the best the Rams have played all season on both sides of the ball. But, I mean, having Deshaun Jackson, who in his 30s is still the fastest player on the field, helps. I'm glad he got in the end zone there and didn't drop the ball before he got to the end zone. But I think this offense is going in the right direction. And we talked before the game about how a year ago it didn't feel like Tom Brady had bought into Bruce Arians' offense just yet. It took about 2 months to get going. I feel like Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are on the exact same page, on the same line, reading the exact same word of this playbook. And that's shown itself. They've gotten better each and every week, and there's nothing but to be impressed with what they did today. Yeah, I agree with that, Ryan. And I think, you know, Sean McVay being a little bit more malleable than Bruce Arians would have been last year, as well as, you know, Matthew Stafford's been able to actually practice with his team, unlike Tom Brady was last season during COVID. It's really impressive what we have seen from the Los Angeles Rams. And when I was out there back in August, it was very clear that this was going to be a successful offensive team. They just couldn't really deal with any injuries. And we know that their running game's still not where they wanted to. Sonny Michel, you want him to get things going here. And obviously we know they're not getting Cam Akers. That offensive line held up really, really nicely against a pretty good Bucs pass rush that was lacking JPP. And I think that they were really missing Jason Pierre-Paul tonight. But, you know, even in his absence, I thought that they were still, you know, the Bucs still had the horses out there. They just couldn't get any pressure really on Matthew Stafford. So credit to Sean McVay having a malleable sort of offensive game plan, one that, hey, I know that I haven't highlighted Deshaun Jackson the first 2 games like I need to. I need to get him more involved. Sean McVay was very clear, very public about his sort of failures, if you want to call them that, as a coach, not getting Deshaun Jackson more involved. He told us all. And so the fact that Deshaun Jackson's running free, 3 receptions, 120 yards, really shouldn't be any surprise, because it was very clear, based off of the indications that Sean McVay was giving, they were going to target Deshaun Jackson. To target Deshaun Jackson, they did. Look, you got 17 games, right? You're not going to go 17-0, we don't think. It's okay. You're going to have these games, right? They can't all be perfect, and that's fine. But are you concerned at all with the secondary long-term of Tampa Bay, which got lit up here, which did kind of get lit up against Dak Prescott in Dallas? You know you can't run on Vita Vea and friends. You know the offense is great. Is the secondary enough of a problem that it concerns you with Tampa? Or is it just, hey, we're not great everywhere? No, it doesn't concern me. They've lost Sean Murphy-Bunting, and that's it. They got Carlton Davis back today. And by the way, Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford are 2 pretty good quarterbacks. So I think what you look at is that if your front 7 is on point, and they have been for the last 11 games prior to this one, you'll be fine. The back end, those guys will get their turnovers, and then on the other side of the football, you have Tom Brady and crew taking care of business. And, you know, JJ, you joked about Tom Brady not being able to catch a break, other than the fact that he's incredibly handsome and married to a supermodel. Here's another Tom Brady fun fact for you. The last 2 times he lost to the Rams, 2001 when he was really young, and last year in 2020, they went on to win the Super Bowl. I remember that. So I think he's okay. He's also beaten the Rams a couple times in Super Bowls, right? Yeah. So there you go. It's worked out. Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. They came into this game, the Buccaneers did, allowing the 3rd most passing yards in the entire NFL, just through 2 weeks. But it was through 2 weeks. Bruce Arians said, well, yeah,
folks aren't passing on us because they can't run on us. So, of course, they're going to pass. And, of course, we're going to give up some yards. They did lose Sean Murphy-Bunting, but that's okay. I go back to last season, and every year is its own year in its own right. We all understand and appreciate that. However, you know, this was a young secondary that learned on the fly last season. In 2019, they were extremely young. 2020, they got it together there in January. They're going to get it together this season. Just guys are passing on them because they can't run on that front seven, number one. And then number two, it's been Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott. You're not always going to face, and I don't know that we throw around top 8, top 10 quarterbacks. Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford are legitimately top 8 quarterbacks in the NFL on any given day, and certainly on Sunday. So the fact that they've thrown for some yards on this Buccaneers defense, yeah, so what?
All right, so we'll see. I mean, look, no one's counting them out, obviously. You're just trying to figure out what is 1 week versus what is a problem that needs to be fixed.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.